name.
Yes, YouTubers, what you saying? Welcome to the Collective Podcast. This is episode 2, and this is going to be the first proper episode. I obviously did my intro the other day, poured my heart out, got some shit off my chest, broke the swearing rule already. Said we weren't going to swear, but we'll try not to.
Happening today, was it?
Shout out swear words.
Shout out swear words. So now we've got an official YouTube channel and a Facebook page for the podcast. It's just the Collective Podcast. You'll find it there. Shout out to Tim Cruz again. It was our boy Tim Cruz from the States who inspired me to do this.
Oh, okay.
And he was featured on the Troubles track.
Yeah.
Small.
Love that tune.
My G, and fucking he did a podcast, man, and he basically did a 20-minute podcast, and he was just talking about things that were on his mind, man, and just put it out there. And like,
what was the title? It was
Be Here Now.
Create Space for Creative Space, which is I think's brilliant. Like, brilliant. Yeah, what a good way to think.
Yeah, man. Create space for a creative space and be here now, and that's sort of the
if you need one.
The vibe that he's been going for over the past few years. Be here now in the moment and that.
Yeah, real shit.
And obviously, I just did the same thing. Did about a half-hour podcast the other day. It was the first one I've done. It was weird.
Yeah. Because
it is weird, isn't it? Like talking about your mental health and that, and things that are on your mind, and just being straight up.
Yeah.
Talking about it, man.
Well, it's different to writing a song, isn't it? Because a song you're trying to, give it out in a certain perception. Whereas when you're just talking, you're just being real, isn't it?
You saying that, we was having this discussion earlier, and I was saying, like, my problem is when I'm talking, I don't really think, so it just comes out. And a lot of the time, I offend people. But when I'm writing, because I've got time to think about
it. It's like editing a text.
So without you even realising, subconsciously, you're building an image. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's fake or anything like that, but because you've got more time to think about what you want to put into what you want to say,
to perceive you.
As opposed to when you're talking, it's
and
just
you get your raw personality
as
well, man, which is something I feel uncomfortable doing, and that's a good thing, isn't it? Like, if you feel uncomfortable,
hell yeah, bro. Throw yourself in that out your comfort zone. You know what I mean?
So obviously, Comprehend's here with us today. Shout out Comprehend. Hello. Hell of a first guest to have. I'm buzzing, to be honest.
Thanks for having me.
And you've been busy as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Always.
But that's what we want to get into. Like, want more other artists to come in and just talk, man, and as well as promote what they're doing at the same time. And it's a chance for like us to look. We've not got a huge platform, but like it's a platform all the same to share the people we know in our community that we've met along the way. And we met was through the Enablers, I think.
Yeah, it was at Corby gig, I believe.
It was, yeah. Shout out Enabler Promotions.
Yeah, shout out Enabler Promotions.
Curtis, Flowsy, the lot of the family, Switch, everyone, shout them out.
Yeah, boy.
And then Comprehend gets in touch with us to get in touch with Wither.
Correct.
And
well, I just messaged the page, I think, on Facebook, because I saw the one where he was in like a rehearsal room.
Yeah, man.
Speaking about government stuff, and at the time, that's exactly what I was on.
So it was that Life as a Choice at the time, I think, was the video at the time, which is actually our first proper video that had ever been made for us. Like,
that was it.
And
wait, it's not. What am I talking about? The first time I heard about you guys, I won a competition by the Enabler Promotions, and I won Beginner's Luck. And then I was listening to that. And then I was listening to that in my car on the way to work, and I was like, "These lot are sick." And then I bumped in. I don't even know if I bumped into you at a gig. I think I just searched you lot on the internet on your Facebook, and then found your Facebook page.
So shout out the Enablers again, then.
Yeah. So I won. That was the first competition I've ever won. Yes, I won something.
I do remember Ollie hosting that competition. It was on a build up to the first time we had done a show there.
I remember the little Facebook video.
He got a massive stack of CDs.
Yeah.
And there was a mixture of loads of different ones at the time. But yeah, I do remember the competition.
Yeah. That's how I heard about you. That's how I heard about you, still.
But again, that's how we met, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of it. We're all big fans of Comprehend because of his conscious hip hop.
Right. Respect.
And one of the things Tim said in his podcast, again, that's what I want to he sort of started a few subjects that I want to ask other artists about and see like their point of view on it as well. He's talked about hip hop assumptions. How like have you ever, when you sort of boxed into you say you do hip hop, and because you're a conscious hip hop rapper, do you ever get confused? Like people sort of think you're giving out a persona that you're not because you say you're a hip hop rapper. Mm-hmm. Do you ever? I just wanted to.
Yeah, I do. I feel like people very much expect me to talk about a certain thing, and the thing is with me, like especially in my day-to-day life, like I do a lot of things that I don't want people to hear about because
just quickly stop you there, bro. That's another thing he said about routine as well. Like you have your general day-to-day routines and what was the word he called it? I don't know, it's gone, but yeah, go on. Sorry, carry on, bro. I'm just
it's okay.
It's just funny you said that straight away because like you've not heard his podcast, have you?
Not yet, no.
And that's mad. Like straight away,
We'll send you the link.
Okay.
We'll send you the link when we're finished.
Okay.
He spoke
Finished
about
doing all
routine
this.
and thing again, and the hip hop assumptions, the things you do day to day.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not lying about things, but I do choose to keep certain things generally. Like I talk about everything I do. If you hear every track I've made, you'll hear everything I do. But on a like sort of in a general sense, I don't like to talk about certain things because I don't feel it's what should be resonated to the world, if you know what I mean, projected to the world. So I certain bits I keep to myself and I'm trying to sort out myself. That's my personal life, it's my private life. You got to keep certain parts detached. And then obviously there's the side of like the way I feel, the way I think, and like I have explored subjects that hasn't made certain people happy, but I don't do it for them. If I spent my whole music career focusing on what other people thought about,
I find that mad though listening to your stuff because I don't ever really hear you spitting like that, or maybe I've just not come across them tracks where you might have someone that would hear it and think, do you know what I'm saying? Like most of your stuff is conscious, and I think how could anyone not?
I think.
Well, if you listen to tracks like Demons and Bad Habits and all of this, I'm talking about smoking and drinking.
Yeah, but
doing it so much.
But that's more like the
damaging.
therapy side of it, isn't it? Like
yeah, and that's why I wrote it.
But at the same time, when I've listened to them songs that you've just mentioned, there's still some sort of positive message that you've drawn out of that still.
Yeah.
Regardless,
That's
it
the way
isn't
I
like
feel.
you're just talking about I'm living a life fucked up on drugs and alcohol, whatever the fuck like that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you won't catch me saying go and do drugs and alcohol.
But that's
you're not glamorising.
Yeah, I'm not glamorising. I'm not telling people it's what you should be doing.
Dave.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling people don't do that because it's not good for you, and I'm aware of that.
I think that's a common problem with today's industry. To be honest, I think a lot of them are glamorising it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
100%,
Maybe I'm getting the wrong end of the stick. Maybe I'm just backwards and getting the wrong end of the stick. But I do believe it is glamorised, and same as things like sex and things like that. It's all glamorised,
and that's why maybe someone
sex
like
sells.
Hendrik and Comprehend and ourselves might like we're doing it as a hobby and because we love it. Like at the same time, you're not really expecting anything out of it. People look at you and think that you might talk about that sort of thing, but don't listen to your music. That's what I'm getting at, where you get boxed off, like just because you say you do hip hop, they don't necessarily understand the type of hip hop you make because they don't listen to it. If that makes sense.
Well, I just think they're not educated in hip hop. Then
I'm not getting it.
That's
out
the way I look.
I don't think I'm getting it out the right way.
Do you mean when you say hip hop, they picture like 90s, like?
Let me quote Tim, like in what he said. He was like, I don't really want to be associated with it.
Depends on it depends on the image that people
with the way hip
hop's
hop's becoming, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Like that's the way I've always liked. I said in my podcast, I don't want to be called just hip hop. Like when we try and push ourselves, it's like
I'm with you.
With you, you're raw.
How do you label your stuff in a world where hip hop is so polluted nowadays?
Yeah,
I just say music though. Music is music. I don't care. I don't care about genre. It's all about the message. Like I will listen to some death metal, if it's got the right message. Do you know what I mean? I will listen to rock if it's got the right message. Hip hop, and I think again, like I think it's all of the cultural thing. I think culture's changed throughout years. Do you know what I mean? And hip hop, the golden era, what a lot of people say is the 90s and things like that. The culture back then has changed to what it is now. You can't blame people for depicting the culture of what it is now. It's the days that we live in.
Yeah, but it's evolution, because even back in the 70s, 80s, hip hop was different. And then when the 80s, 90s hip hop came in, people were like, look at these youngsters rebelling. And then it's the same with the early 2000s. And then now it's in our age.
For example, NWA. Look at NWA, Ice Cube and all that. They shut down shows.
Like a lot of old school hip hop heads like the funny hip hop side of you know, like in the 90s where obviously Tupac and that started coming in, it started taking that more direction towards our money girls and at the same time as having politics. Yeah, of course Tupac had the politics and stuff.
That was Suge Knight that done that to Tupac,
Nah, let's not get into that. But like talking about where it sort of changed was sort of 90s, wasn't it? Like before that, it was kind of like 80s.
Yeah, like to think like
hip hop, hippie to the, like a lot of old school hip hop heads kind of lost interest during the 90s because it took that negative direction. But anyway, in like
I think it just became more open, and that led people to exploring different avenues.
And it's always what's being pushed in your face. Yeah, like, there's always been them conscious rappers out there that maybe no one's ever heard about.
Yeah, true that. I think late 90s is when, or 90s in general, is when possibly radio started capitalising more on that gangster image.
Oh yeah.
That's when conscious started going underground a bit, because people are seeing what's making money and they're thinking, okay, maybe I need to be a gangster rapper.
So with your everyday routine,
Yeah.
And sorry, man, because these minutes will go fast.
It's right,
and
that's right. You got bullet points. We got time.
How do you create space for creative space? So like,
I create space for creative space by being on my own.
Yeah.
I have to be on my own. I have to be isolated. I don't like distractions. I like to have a beer and I like to have a smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly at the same time, if not before. And then I that's how I create my creative space.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah.
How about working in groups? Do you like still working in groups with people bouncing off other people's energies?
Yeah.
Like, you seem to find when you work on your own, you've got your own energy.
Yeah.
But when you start to work with other people and collaborate, you're bouncing off their energies.
Yeah. No, but I'm a very competitive guy. So for me, it turns into I've got to be the quickest. I've got to write.
That's what me and Gwither are like.
I've got to write the sickest, and I've got to do this.
So when we finish this podcast and we start recording this track that me, you, and AJ have worked on, is that the mentality that you're gonna have?
No, because I've heard.
But it kind of should be though, shouldn't it? You should be going onto it going, I wouldn't mind to stand out. That's how it should be.
Of course.
He showed me his verse earlier. I spat my verse to him, and he showed me his verse that he's recorded already. Straight away, I said to him, I was like, "You're a prick, mate." I won't be shy to tell him, innit? Like, you're a bit of a dickhead, bro.
What I was sent to write to was his verse and then empty space.
See, all I had was just empty space.
Okay.
I didn't hear nothing.
So I heard what AJ did.
But that is what you want to be doing. You want to be working with people that are trying to make you do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like exactly.
It's not about.
It's not like
it is competitive. There's an underlining competitive.
I think if you get too comfortable, it's bad.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is, guys, if I'm in a studio and there's like 4 rappers and then there's a producer, whatever, and then they're like, right, everyone write a track. Everyone sits there and they spit the first line and they rewrite and then they're spitting it out loud, da da da. And I like to be that guy who's sat there and quiet and I'm just like,
keep your mouth shut till it's done.
Bar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then I just keep going.
What? And then you wait until you're finished to show it.
Yeah.
You one of them?
Yeah, I have to because
like I'm the not, same bro. Way I get excited. All right, I've got to show you this.
I get eager sometimes.
I've not done it a lot to have much of a.
See, Gwither's like that. That's how he used to be. Like, he'd wait until he's done the whole thing and work.
No, he would lock himself in a bedroom.
And sometimes that can be annoying, can't it? Because if you're trying to write the same subject,
like 20 songs there in a week.
But if you're trying to write the same subjects and he's like, I'm gonna wait till my verse is done, and it's like, well, we could like go along that at the same time, and mine could bounce off yours. Do you know what I mean? But that's him, and I'm the sort of guy that will write a bar and probably show you it straight away.
Yeah. I get excited.
I mean, if I've wrote a 16 and then I've kind of stopped there and I think that 16's fire, if I'm out and I meet someone, I'll be like, yo, check the 16. I am like that.
Are you one of these guys that will spit to people on the street randomly, like, oh, what do you like rap music? I used to be like that all the time.
No, when I go travelling and shit, I 100% do that. I'll stop anyone in the street and I'll be like,
for that.
Like, by the way, do you like rap? They'll be like, huh? And I'll be like,
let me change your mind.
I'm a musician. Listen to this. I'll give them my card first so they know it's all legit, and I'll be like, yo, check it.
Get your little contactless thing out and get it.
Yeah. You want to buy a CD?
That's sick. Speaking of, you fucking had card payments for your CDs, real.
Yeah,
I
still do.
What is that?
Card machine. I'll give you the deets after. I don't want to say too much on that.
That's the sort of thing you'd do, man.
I'll send you the link to it. Literally, you pay like 1.1% on each purchase, which if you sell a tenner is 1 pence. Something like that. No, a pound it's a penny, so it's 10p to every £10. Okay.
That's what you want, though, isn't it? Because then they can't say no.
Exactly. but the amount of people I've caught out at shows, bro, who have been like, oh, I really want to buy a CD, but I ain't got cash, and I'll be like, no way. I'll be like, Richie, this is what
that's
I live for.
Hey, I've just learnt something from you today, bro. I'll be like, I need to be catching up with the technology.
Literally, boys, you need to get with the times, man.
Bro,
honestly,
I don't like the times.
No one takes cash anywhere anymore, and it's contactless as well. So it's like, man, like someone could take a card they've nicked and use it on that, and you'd be like,
we're still sending them. We're sending them by pigeon,
don't
bro. Like we
people.
just,
But yeah, so
give the CD to a pigeon and hope it gets to the right destination.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine, so the guy's gone, oh yeah, I haven't got any cash, and I've gone like, okay, I've got a card machine, and then he's like, okay, do you know what it is? Like, I need to go to the cash machine and get the cash out, and then come back, and I'm like, I've just like,
you're like, you're overdrawn, bro.
No, I just remember thinking, look, if you don't want the CD, just tell me you don't want the CD. Don't pretend you're gonna buy it. And I've offered you every option to purchase it.
So speaking of selling CDs, you just dropped Pariah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
How's that been since you dropped that, man? How do you feel?
Good, man. I've put a lot of money into promotion, and it's reaching like new areas that all my other music wouldn't, which is good. I'm just trying to sort of get new fans in and stuff like that. But the general feedback from my sort of regular fan base has been great. Everyone seems to really enjoy it.
Mate, us when it starts finished, like the next day I think when it came out, and I loved it.
Well,
mate,
that's what it is. I wanted people to play it start to finish, man, in the right.
And it is relatable as well. Like there's the therapy side of it, man. I think it's banging, and the meaning is outcast.
Correct.
Outcast, rejected from society.
Correct.
Well,
which is funny as well because we were talking in Tim's podcast
about this as well. Yeah,
he was like, he saw Bohemian Rhapsody, and one of my favourite lines in that is, "We're just a bunch of people that are, Queen. We're just a bunch of outcasts, basically from society, just pulled together, sort of thing." And that's how I see the collective thing. You feel like that, obviously, from putting the thing in. And
that's exactly why, and that's why I like the whole sort of mind frame behind the whole thing. Was just a nice tight bundle. It wasn't like my normal EPs have just been like 5 tracks not slapped together like I haven't spent time.
It felt like a body
5
of
tracks
work.
just put on a disc, whereas this time it's all for a reason.
A body of work.
Yeah, it felt like a body of work, and it's the first body of work I'd say I've made.
Do you feel
and
like
you can hear that
yourself, that outcast? Do you feel
well, obviously, at the time the whole Pariah came together in my mind was when I was travelling Southeast Asia on my own. So I felt like an outcast because even though I'm meeting all these people along the way and I'm still.
So that's mad. It's not like you're feeling like an outcast to society where you are like it's because you was actually in another country and you genuinely.
No. Sorry, that's not the whole idea. It's also because I don't feel like I don't belong. I've never quite fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
Every like in hip hop, they say I'm not quite a hip hop head, and they say I'm not quite this, and I should be doing that, and that's just music. And then in life, like I never really was. I wasn't a cool kid, but I wasn't a geek. But I was like I would like be a bit of everyone. It was weird. Like I was never one solid thing. And I've never fit in one solid category of anything.
Which again, coming into getting categorised. Like,
I was just about to say this.
So Pariah just to me just means I'm an outcast.
And I can relate. I relate to that, man. Because
I'm outside of all this labelling. I'm outside of all this putting people in boxes and stuff.
Yeah, and that's what we stand for, man. I think it pushes things forward as well, and that's what I want to do these podcasts.
I just feel like a lone soldier doing my thing.
But the thing is, though, this is
with other lone soldiers.
Yeah, I was about to say you might feel like that. And I was saying this to Gwither months back as well about some of the songs that he'd made. Some of them are quite dark, like some of the content.
I just heard a couple of deep tracks of his.
And I was saying to him like,
shut up.
You say it for yourself,
Gwither's a G.
and like it's for self-expression, and you do feel alone.
Yeah.
You just said you feel like a lone soldier, but just making that song alone and releasing it on the internet, that big wide world web, there's going to be other people that relate to that, which instantly make them feel not alone.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? So going back to what you were saying for the introduction about your whole therapy project, like I know you were saying that it might not have given you the effect that you were looking for by writing them songs, by releasing it, and maybe you trying something else like podcasting.
That's what I'm saying. For me, it was like I'm using music for therapy, but I feel like direct dialogue like this helps me more.
It might not directly help.
Like I'm doing this for myself, but a lot for everyone else as well.
It might not directly help you making them songs, but it's definitely helping other people out there. Because without a doubt, everybody's going through something. I mean, we're talking about, in brackets, I'm doing the fingers, people. I know you can't see me. Mental illness and disabilities and things. I don't like saying things like that, but talking about things like that. But really, in society, when you strip it back, everybody has something underlying there that's not. And as far as categories go and boxes and that, if there wasn't any of that, then there wouldn't be any problem at all, and there wouldn't be any worry.
Yeah. And my argument is that I feel like we've got these things that are made to make that worse.
It's all an establishment thing.
Yeah.
Like setting all these,
they want us to feel
social
like this, man.
statuses, like your middle class, lower class. Why are they even things? Why do they even exist? Like, I know it's to do with the disparity in financial circumstances, but like, why is there why is the top 1% got more money than? Like,
it's the top 1%, and then you got classism, and then you think, now on top of all that, you got the fucking internet, so we can show off how well
bro,
these
and
people are doing. And but also it's a brilliant platform for us to actually take out.
Do the opposite.
I was saying earlier, I'd much rather be doing my age, what we are now, doing what we're doing now with the band, back in the early 90s.
And the thing I want to go to,
it's more the networking there is more face value. You actually have to physically meet people and do things. It's not like a lot of people do sit at home and work from home. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not throwing no shade on it, anything like that. No. Like, do your thing, that's cool. It's working, that's good. But it's just I don't know, it's created another whole, I don't know, cyber world that's not quite real. Do you know what I mean? Like, because even for us, like, people might look at our page and think, fucking hell, they're booming. We got quite a few followers. Do you know what I mean? We post posts, get quite a few likes, get views on videos and that.
That's took work, innit? Like the same as what you would probably understand.
I think a lot of people might see that and think more than what it actually is. And I don't think...
Yeah, you're right.
I think the internet doesn't help with that.
So that brings me to music and making it. Making it
as in succeeding? Or
people seem to,
music.
when you do music, again, this comes into the getting categorised thing with music as well, not just hip-hop, but music in general.
Yeah.
How people, if you tell someone you work with you make music or something, they'll come back and they'll say, do you think you'll make it? And it's like, bro, do you do football as a hobby? Do you think you'll make it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, nah, man, I do this because this is me, this is what I do, it's into me, do you know what I mean? It's like, of course I'm not doing this to make this, like, and then the clip I saw on yours earlier on is making an authentic living from music, with the word you used. Right. Love that, man, because that's what we want to get to. We don't want to make it, like, now we're blessed.
I feel like
we're blessed now, this is it. You know, a lot of people, when they get famous, they look back and they go, I missed that build up to it, that bit we're at now, where we might be taking it a bit for granted. It's the best part of it, man. Like,
we were saying earlier to you before we started, we've just paid for a full band studio for a whole day.
Never thought we'd do that out of our band
2 years ago, we would have put that out of our own pocket. We don't have to do that now.
Yeah.
And
it's like you telling us to get our PRS sorted, man. We haven't done that yet, and
I've been saying to AJ, for over a year, we need to sort out PRS. We need to sort out PRS.
PPL as well. I've realised how important that is. You need both, bro.
What's that? Damn, is that just like another form of...
It's hard to explain. PPL is like the mechanical rights. So
fuck this, bro. Let's not talk about this. We were meant to be talking about Pariah. We've gone off on a tangent. We were meant to be on Pariah.
Right, Pariah. Going back to Pariah. Sorry. Yeah. Song to your mother. There's a track to your mum.
There is.
Has she listened to it?
She has.
What was her reaction?
She wasn't happy.
Why not? If you don't mind me asking.
No, it's cool. She felt like I divulged in too much private information for the public to hear. So
I can relate to that, bro, as well.
Does she understand? Yeah, I know, because there's a lot of
What I explained to her is, Mum, I don't make music for you. I don't make it for anyone in my family. Yeah. I've had aunties and various other people, you know, say that you should leave the political stuff alone and just focus on like talking about yourself or whatever. But then I talk about myself and it offends someone else because I'm of the stuff about myself I'm talking about. So
I don't understand.
You can't win if you're trying to please people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Like you say, you do it for yourself, and like if you might bring in things that you've been through that implicates other people, and you're using it as a positive outlet for yourself, and that makes you feel better, and it's just a positive thing. I don't see how anyone can have a problem with that.
That's why I explained to my mum.
I feel it as well. It's like I've written tracks where I'm talking about my mum and my dad, and I'm like, I hope they don't. I hope they just look at it and see this is helping him. Yeah. Like, I'm not doing it to hang my dirty washing out and say, they did this and like now I've got fucking mental problems from it or anything like that. But that's the reality of the situation, and the music's helping me for that. How can they take that away from you? Like, I don't know if that's the same situation for you. Like,
it's kind of more like
it's not about making them look bad.
My mum, exactly. It's more for myself. It's therapy, like you say. Exactly. But I think my mum definitely got an overall more positive experience from it than negative. That was just one thing she had to say. She was like, oh, by the way, I heard that track and I wasn't too happy about some of the stuff you said. And I was like, I understand that, Mum, but I was writing how I felt. And
then we as artists have got to understand that they're entitled to that as well.
Exactly. And exactly. It's the same way you can't please everyone. No. To quote Teeps, Twisted Pennies from Leicester, if you're trying to be everyone's cup of tea, you might as well be a mug.
That's real talk. That is real talk.
That's good shit.
Like, you can't please everyone, can you? Really?
Exactly.
I just wanted to know, because obviously Aaron's been working on therapy. I've got a track lined up for that, a bonus track for that, where I'm writing about my old man.
I've got a similar thing.
And
that's what I felt this, but again, I felt much related to it, because I was like, I'm feeling the same thing.
As in the letter to my mum, you mean?
The whole project, bro, like just the start, the beginning, middle and end, and obviously that track hit me deep,
My old man probably wouldn't listen to it because he don't even speak English too good. So I'm quite lucky he probably wouldn't listen to it. It was mainly for my own sole purpose. But like, again, that's why I had to ask you. I know some parents, like Aaron's parents, have listened to these songs. It's going for a toilet break. Have listened to these songs, and obviously have reacted and spoke to him about it. I just wanted to know, obviously, how did you... She understood where you were coming from, and that you needed it.
Yeah. It's one of them ones where she, like, I actually went to therapy, as you hear in the song. So she encouraged me to go do therapy, and obviously the whole purpose of therapy is to let out, you know, emotions stuck deep in you that you wouldn't otherwise be aware of. So, you know, I went to therapy. It was hella deep, man. Like I don't really want to go into it too much, but it was very deep. So that track was basically inspired by therapy. Like it was like, that's why it's a letter to my mum. So it's like, I've done therapy and I've got XYZ that I want to talk to her about. So for instance, she never knew I'd tried cocaine. She never knew I'd tried MDMA. She never knew any of that stuff. And in that song, I was aware she was going to listen to it. I was going to show her if she didn't hear it herself. Like, I'm aware she's going to learn a lot about me she never knew. But that was the purpose of the track, innit? Like, to show my mum things about me and how I feel that she might not otherwise know.
Okay.
That's real.
Yeah. I think it's a common thing as well, like you're saying about how the therapy is meant to help bring things out. Would you say it's a common thing for people to not want to show?
Yes, I was the same.
Like, I mean, I had psychiatrists and things like when I was younger. I got to a certain age and I was just like, well, fuck this, I don't want these fuckers. Do you know what I mean? And I'm now getting older. I've got 2 children. My youngest sons, they're looking at all sorts of shit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and I don't really agree with it because he's perfect for me. Do you know what I mean? But
no,
it just makes me think like there's a common thing that's going on. It's more and more happening, more and more frequent. And it just seems like people are more and more disconnected.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why I think doing these podcasts gives direct dialogue, and I think it takes away from Facebook. You've got a bar about Instagram, hitagram, buzz from likes, getting addicted to, you know, getting that reaction, and the same as we were talking about earlier. Like, you build a platform for yourself. Like, do you feel guilty as much as like the Instagram models are and people like that for doing music and stuff like that? Because I know I do sometimes.
As in terms of the reaction.
When you get that dopamine released in your brain when you get a good reaction to
stuff. I do.
I
I wouldn't know it existed if I didn't feel it.
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to deactivate Facebook a lot at the minute, like, because I feel that has a mental effect on me as well. It's like I don't.
Yeah. Well,
we didn't have this like 10 years ago.
No, you're right. No, life is complicated and
I don't think us as a society stop to that's why podcasts are good, to actually stop and talk and say, yeah, it's a bit weird.
I love that. It's just a real chat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit weird that we've got this platform that we all resonate on, and sometimes you get these passive aggressive people. Help me.
I don't know what to do in this world anymore. I just want someone to relate.
Please, just
tell me that you feel the same way, because I don't know what else
First
to do.
World problems, bro. First world problems. It's not that bad. Like, I'm not saying that, but it is having a toll. I feel it mentally.
No, you're right. I feel it mentally as well. I think we all do, and that's the problem. I think
talking about it's the biggest thing.
Talking about it, exactly. Talking about it's the biggest thing. And yes, I put it in lyrics. Call me a hypocrite because I say you shouldn't be feeling that way, and I feel that way. But that's not to say I'm not trying to avoid feeling that way. For instance, I'll only post.
That's another barrier as well, though. When we talk a lot about problems, never give solutions.
Yeah,
I feel like that. It's like, how long can I do
Everyone's
this
saying
what can we actually do to make a change?
Exactly.
There's not much you can do now.
Awareness is key.
Awareness,
keep putting out tracks and giving people awareness that they probably now already got.
I honestly think,
we know the world's fucked.
Yeah.
literally.
But instead of just thinking the world's fucked.
No, but it's true though.
We should do this.
Yeah, but it's like this is what I honestly reckon is I reckon that we have gone so far physically that we cannot physically do anything about it. The only way we can do anything about this is spiritually. Yeah, we need to vibe, become one, and we need to vibe and get rid of. I smoke loads, bruv. I wake up at 7 in the morning. I'm blazing all fucking day. Yeah, all night. I shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. That's fucking giving my brain fuzzy. Same as that liquor can in your hand.
What is it though, everything, or is that just something
same as the TV? The same as the TV that's on in every front room around the world or around the country, whatever. Yeah, same as the internet. It's all there to stop us, break us down, make us feel that we're alone. I mean, all this stuff when we were younger, like you are.
And on that note,
on that note, hold on, open it.
On that note, people.
Yes.
Let's get some poison. But yeah. Go on. Sorry.
Like when we're young, we're told you are individual. You are unique. You are you. There's no one else. That I think we might have that wrong now. I think that we should be told the opposite. We should be teaching our children, no, you are not just you as an individual. You are us, all of us, as one.
Sorry, man. Go on.
Once we get
our heads going now, this is what we needed. This is what we want. But serious, bro. Like what you said about
2-hour podcast.
What you said about smoking all day, and I got thinking about that as well. I've drink too much at the minute. You know what I mean? I smoke too much. I openly admit I'm using it as a bad. My routine's bad. Yeah. Like, I'll go work. I'll come home.
Same, bro. Same.
Like I don't want to. My soul's been sucked. Like I don't want to do anything after like going to work all day. I don't know if like that's the problem or my attitude might be the problem. But the weed smoking and the alcohol inside of it, I don't think that's the problem. I think there's something else, and that's what we're talking about. How we all feel, but we don't talk about it, and we're trying to fill that void. With the weed smoking might not be the problem, bro. Like it might not be, because I've got love for weed all day. Like I think weed's a very good thing. I think it fits in with your brain.
Yeah, you're right. It's not that weed's the problem.
Not necessarily smoking weed, but
it's that something else is going on, so you resort to that. It's like once you fix that, you won't have to resort to that. But it's because
an unspoken voice in yourself that you're not admitting to. Yeah, it's a coping mechanism. My problem is, and I've been realising this recently. So I turned 24 the other Friday. It was my birthday.
Happy
belated birthday, bro.
I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I don't know. 28.
My Facebook was deactivated.
There you go. Good luck.
That's how we know it's someone's birthday, though.
I don't wish no one happy birthday. Not even my mother. Sorry, bro.
I probably didn't wish you a happy birthday. I feel no way about it. I'm loppy as well. Don't worry. But yeah. So I started realising like, shit, man. Like that my biggest problem with the world is that I started off thinking this was capable, and I'm slowly getting pushed into thinking only this is capable. This is what I'm capable of. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So I began like coming into a teenager or whatever thinking, yo, I can do anything. Don't get me wrong, I still think that's possible, but there's so many more hurdles in the way now, and I'm not blaming that on any specific changes within society. I just think as you get older, shit gets deeper, shit gets realer, more responsibilities, more pressure, more. You feel like
you're not prepared for that.
You feel like you got to rush your life more because it's like, fuck, I'm getting older.
They don't
now.
teach
like,
this at school.
No, they
don't.
No. And the thing is, it's so backwards because everything we're taught and we know is so wrong, but it's all we know. So let's say, for instance, you're not like old until you're like 70, but people accept like when you hit 30 or some shit, like, oh, there's only so much I can do. Do you know what I mean? Level 30 unlocked. Exactly. So what I'm saying is people put too many restrictions on themselves based on what society's telling them, and I think that no matter how conscious you are, sooner or later you start feeling that, man, and you coping it with it in your own way, and you still push through. But
and I think you've got two people. You've got them people that feel that way, and then you've got numb people.
Numb people, as in sheep, who don't even
know
they're only capable of doing XYZ because of the restrictions society puts on them. They exactly, and I feel that's what leads to addiction.
And then they make you feel bad for feeling like this.
Yeah,
and they push you into that, like you were saying, when you feel limited, and these hurdles and things like doing music for us is our way.
Yeah,
and we're not trying to. Like whatever you're thinking in your head, we're trying to do. It's probably not right. Like we're trying to push through, and this is just another way of doing it for me. It's like doing a podcast because I can tell you straight how I'm feeling. And the
only reason we want to get bigger is so more people can hear our positive message. We're not trying to get bigger so we make more money and
we can do what we love.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we be allowed to do that?
Exactly. Especially if it's a positive message. But it seems.
And why do they make us feel like we shouldn't be able to do what we love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to make it.
Yeah. I think, going back to that.
Who do they think they are? Talking all that shit like they fucking know.
It's the same as everything.
We're no better than you. We're just doing our best.
If everybody had no ambition like that and no drive, all these fucking famous singers and actors and all these people that everyone look up to on fucking TV, they won't fucking exist.
No.
So all these people, that are going round, that say this to underground musicians and artists, not just in music, but painting, anything, poetry, it could be anything, literally anything, anything that's creative.
They're trying to get you thinking on the right side of the brain.
Society looks down their nose on you, but at the same time, they idolise these people on TV for doing them same things just on a bigger scale. Like, how fucking stupid are you, bro? Like, are you fucking retarded?
Do you know what's really annoying me at the moment? Love Island, man. Or like anyone talking.
Do you know what?
It's other people's lives, and it's like, is your life perfect? No. Well, then why are you worrying about other people?
Bruv,
just do your thing.
Do you know what's mad, bruv? I was fucking. Mrs. gone to work in it, and I thought, right, she watches her soaps and that, and she left as the recording finished, and she left the TV on, and it was Loose Women in the background, and I could hear them chatting shit and that, and they were talking about, there's been reports of children that are like primary school age where their parents are fucking letting them watch this, and I just instantly felt sick. Like, I've just recently pulled my kids, my kids are in primary school, I've pulled them out of a certain lesson. They want to teach them relationship and sex education. The oldest is fucking 7. 2 weeks ago turned 7. No, they got no need learning that sort of thing. Sorry, they got no need learning that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it's all there. Plant the seed when they're like young. Yeah. Step back and watch it as they get older. And I think it's been the same for us as our generation. It's been the same for our older generation, and so on for God knows how long. It's just things have changed slightly because technology and that.
Agreed.
I think everything is catered for us to be the way that we need to be for them.
Yeah, correct. The whole, correct.
I just went on some random tangents.
No,
back to Pariah, man. Make sure if you're listening to this, you go check out Pariah by Comprehend. It's on all streaming platforms. Yeah, you can get hard copies if you. It's on
YouTube as well, SoundCloud.
Yeah, man.
I've also got merchandise available on my new website, www.comprehend.uk. Thank you.
www.comprehend.uk. Get on.
What are your biggest t-shirts?
I've got XXL.
Man, they're not big enough for me, bruv. Can you hook me up with a 4XL, bruv?
No, I've got 3XL, I think.
Still not big enough, bruv.
No, it will be.
I'm a fat cunt.
No, you're not. You're big boned, bro. You're big boned.
Well, make sure you all go listen to Pariah, seriously. Cause
honestly, yeah. Like, we have been listening to it a few times, haven't we? It is a banging project.
And the other thing I will say, bro, is like Tim Cruise inspired me to do this. So go check out Tim Cruise, man, and Tim Cruise check out Comprehend, because he's across the states. Like me and Gwivy used to sit on the phone to him for like an hour, bro, just have mad conversations and stuff. And his music.
I feel like I've heard you lot speak about him a lot. Like,
he's sick, bro.
His name definitely rings a bell.
He's one of the people like I really want to meet one day, and I know we will. Like if we just use that law of attraction.
He's always said that. He's been a big believer on law of attraction. We do sort of believe in law of attraction ourselves, and from when we first started speaking to him, he's always said, I've got a list of things to do, and meeting you guys is now on that list. It's going to happen.
Well, make sure you check each other out, man. And Pariah as well. You've got a new video coming out for Broken.
Yes, it'll be
I saw a little clip for that just now.
I mean, I've released the teaser today.
Just now, literally, so I got the exclusive straight on that bit.
Just now. He's going to show us the full you literally, you guys will watch it.
You get a sneak peek.
I must say, that is my favourite on the EP though.
Thank you.
And Callan Fortune.
I remember you listening to it saying your favourite was still the older tunes, and I was like, wait for it. 3 days later, you messaged me like Broken.
That Callan Fortune.
It's because I listened to it a few more times since then. I need to let it resonate.
Yeah, you need the right sound system.
Shout out that Callan Fortune. Bro, his voice
Callum
is
Fortune
sick.
is a G, man, and
he's got some Rag and Bone Man vibe going on.
Yeah, 100%.
He's massive,
everyone
bro,
says
like,
that. Yeah,
I heard that. I was like, he's got a banging voice, bro.
That's the first thing he's ever wrote. It's the first video he's ever been in. He'd never been in a studio prior to that. All he ever did was cover other people's. He'd never done anything, bro. So I'd heard him at an open mic night in Leicester, at the HQ open mic night, and he smashed a cover of a song, and I was like, wow, your voice, bro. I was like, I need you on a song, and I was like, can you write a hook for this track? And he was like, no. He's like, you'll have to write it. I'll sing it. I was like, I'm not a singer. I don't know how to write for someone singing. And then he was like, I've never wrote, and I was like, bro, just do it. I was like, I know you got this. And then he came up with that voice.
You mad? I'm gonna spin that track at the end of this podcast. You know, I'm just gonna leave that track to finish it off, because that's sick, bro.
You brought that out in him then, bro.
Yeah, and I was so gassed. I was so proud of him to see him write. And then I brought him in the studio for the first time. His first 5 proper gigs I brought him to. And then,
look at Simon Cowell sat over there.
His family is so happy with, so proud of me. And then, like,
that's
big, bro.
That's what people should be doing. That is ratings for that, bro. Because we've tried to do the same and have done the same thing in the past with people. Like, we've had shows supporting us.
Exactly.
Things like that.
I appreciate that.
And I do know, like, there was quite a few people at that show that come up to you as well. Like, you're sick. That's good. That's really good. Like, ratings for that.
So yeah, man. I mean, as far as my list, we've covered everything I wanted to chat to you about, man. And 40 minutes it's took us. I mean, unless Soof's got anything to say. I mean, you got to bear with us on these podcasts because it's new to me as well. Like, we are just rushing through and getting into subjects and like talking and we're gonna get better with it. Like, the more we do it.
For about time,
If you haven't got any questions, I wanted to take it back to the making it part, because you didn't actually sort of really explore it. You guys went on a tangent and then to the next.
That's what I mean. And when I listen back, I'm like, I didn't get out the way I wanted
to. So what was your questions regarding that? What was
music and making it?
Yeah. What for you? Yeah, because again, back to that, a lot of people, you want to make it. Like, when people say that to me, and a lot, they do come up to us after a show at a festival, you guys are wicked, you're going to make it. And I say, we have made it though. I feel like we have made it.
Yeah,
that's what we did actually touch on. Like, I feel like that's what we've got to tell ourselves as artists, like, the come up no matter where you are, whether you've just started or like, you know, you've just made your first track. You've got to always appreciate that moment, because usually when people do make it, they ain't happy.
No, yeah.
And they're being worked. They're being worked just as much as if they were working 12 hours, fucking 7 days a week anyway. Do you know what I mean? When they get to a certain stage,
it's either we're accepting that making it is whatever you're happy with, which is the right way, or there's accepting it, which is you sign a record label deal. But to me, there's
I don't believe us as artists will ever do that because we've got that platform anyway. I know they might offer you things that
no, what I'm saying is, bro, like I'm thinking it like time and space, but it's not that simple. Like you can create your own fucking wave, your own realm. You can have your own record label. You can have your own,
what I just said. Like that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Like exactly, we're in no way looking for a record label.
Exactly.
Like if anything, we're building these.
The
collective podcast, AJ and the collective band, Quiver and the collective.
You're building your own.
Do you know what I mean? And we're all individual artists in ourselves as well. Like so.
So making it to me is essentially boiled down is having enough to live off.
Yeah.
Making enough from music to live off.
Bro, it goes back to what you said. Authentic living from music. That's
Second
what it is.
I can do that, I can use my time to just explore creative avenues. I ain't got to worry about a full-time job. I ain't got to worry about this stuff. Do you know what I mean? And then that's when life to me is free. When all I've got to worry about is like doing my shows, putting on the best show, like making maybe a new enterprise, i.e. like exploring a different...
Do you feel like your stuff comes naturally, these songs and stuff and visuals?
Yeah, I only write usually when I'm in the mood to. I can't force myself to write. If I do, I always delete it. I always delete it. Like
say that again.
If I force myself to write, I always delete it. Because it never...
I'm constantly deleting.
Unless it's one good bar, like one really sick wordplay that randomly came to me, I'll put that to one side. But otherwise, I'll delete it because
I relate to that.
I literally sit there. It can be 6 weeks before I'm motivated to write a track, and then I'll write 6 in like a week. Yeah. And then it could be like 8 months, and then it could be 2 days.
Because Tim said in his
a
whole year, and I won't write a verse, and then all of a sudden, bang! I write 4 or 5 tracks in a month, like 6, 7 tracks in a month.
Like Tim said in his, he's like when he listens back. I know you've heard it as well. When he listens back to his stuff, he says the ones that came more like a freestyle sound better than the ones that he said came naturally.
I'm at the point now, I've changed my whole writing style. So I used to write 4 bar at a time, boom, 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 and that's why everything sounded samey. I now just write and write and write, and I structure it as I'm going along. I might switch up.
I do that.
Everything. So I've completely changed the way I write now. So you'll hear all my new stuff.
The thing is,
after Pariah now, it's going to sound completely different.
With you doing it like that, you're not going to have one stable, solid flow throughout the whole song. You're going to switch up the style and that. I mean, I'll have 1 hour every day, every morning, without fail, my coffee, my joint, 1 hour instrumentals. Before I take the kids to school, before I do any housework, before anything here, I'll have an hour instrumentals. And if I write 1 bar, I write 1 bar. If I write 4, I write 4. I'm not bothered. But I make sure I have an hour. If I don't write nothing, fuck it, I've just listened to an hour instrumentals for the fun of it. Cool.
Yeah, well, I
not
like
a problem.
to freestyle on the way to work and from in my car, but I've not got anything recording it, so there's no way of recording what I've been spitting. But
Get a dictaphone on your boat.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I just let it happen. I just sit there and I'm like, right.
It's good for brain
So on the way here, it's an hour drive here. I was spitting over nearly every track I listened to for an hour on the way here, just freestyling, thinking, I've got it today. Today I'm with it, but tomorrow I might freestyle and it's shit.
The last track I wrote was Millennials, which was time when we went away. Like again, Tim saying about a creative space for a creative space. Like I'm not really feeling it at the minute. Like.
Here's what it is, bro. It doesn't mean you're no longer an artist, though. A lot of people are too quick to think like I've lost it now. Because there is such thing as creative burnout, I believe. But I believe...
Especially when you flood it out.
If you force it, the problem is forcing it is what causes creative burnout. Because it's like, right, I'm stuck in this habit of doing I'm not doing it for the fun anymore. Where it's like, if you just wait till you're down and then just get fully stuck in...
It's your surroundings as well as the creative space for a creative space. Like, once we got out, we went away to Hannah's Nan's for the weekend.
Okay.
And they went out for literally 2 hours, mate. I wrote Millennials. In 2 hours.
See what I'm saying?
The hook, the verse,
probably sat there like, do you know what, I could write
probably the best track I've written since fucking Poison, in my opinion. And that was years ago. And the natural, like the catchiness of it and stuff like that, like.
Yeah. Well, I want to show you the track I just recorded with Harold because that one was like a track where I'd not wrote it in like 3-4 months. This was recently as well. Yeah. And then I just came home. I was just listening.
And just felt it.
Listening to a certain artist one day, and they got bare like smooth, jazzy, slow stuff.
Inspired.
And and I was just like, I really want to write something like with a similar sort of essence.
See, that's mad as well. Because with me, it was the nature that inspired me getting out of town and being. Because she lives out in like the sticks.
Well, exactly, bruv. That's what I'm saying.
I'm out in
Travelling's
nature,
good for it as
and I was
well,
like,
bro.
came up with millennials, and I was like, the whole concept of the internet and deactivate, get your mind right and recalibrate. Do you know what I mean? And like that, and just went off on that tangent and came out with the song. Like, and with that, I want to do like a whole 90s inspired video. Do you know what I mean? I might get curtains, grow my hair out and get fucking 90s curtains, and get a Carlton Fresh Prince t-shirt and that, and just vibe out on the video and like go back to that time when we didn't have this fucking internet. That's why it's got a dial-up tone at the beginning and shit like that, just to give it that nostalgia. So I want the video to have that as well.
I like that. I'm doing a 50s based song with Harold. That's the one I'm doing at the minute. So it's proper like, it's gonna be like me sat in
it's
a
the sample
bar,
like
black
50s.
and white. Yeah. So it's gonna be like a black and white in the bar, like zoot suit. Like everyone dressed in zoot suits and just like sat in a bar. I'm gonna have a glass of whiskey, 2 ice cubes.
You need any cameos, bro? You know where we are.
I need the bar to be filled with people in zoot suits. So I'll holler everyone, innit? But yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I want you for this 90s video as well, bro.
Like a not a jukebox. That's too late. But there's a 50s bar I found not far from where I live. That I'm gonna go in. Everyone dressed in zoot suits, film it in black and white, and just have me like looking drunk. Just like when you hear the
Charlie
song,
Chaplin vibe.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give too much away, but when you hear the song, you'll see why that's what I'm going for. I'll show you after the podcast.
Yeah, man. So basically, I think we've been going for this is going to go on forever if we don't stop. So
we'll
wrap it up.
Start.
I want to say thank you to Compre. No, thank you, bro, for coming and doing this.
Bro. It's good to see you. It's always good to see you,
nice
brother.
to make the journey over here.
It is always good to see you.
Mate, this is good for all of us. Like, that's why I want more people to get involved. We'll do more in the future. It's going to be an ongoing thing, man. I'll try to do one every other weekend if possible with different artists and stuff. Big shout out to Comprehend, Tim Cruz. Check each other out, please.
Make sure.
Yes, I will. Tim, I'm on that. But yeah, shout out everyone involved in Pariah. Shout out Harold, Naji Wavy, HQ Studios.
Pariah.
Shout out.
Where are they going to find it again?
You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon. All
hard
of that
copies
stuff.
merch.
Hard copies, everything on my website, comprehend.uk.
Make sure you hit that up, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for the support so far, guys. We're smashing it on streams on Spotify, so thank you. But yeah, big up the collective for having me every time, man. Just love to you lot, man. Big love.
One love, brother.
One love, man.
And shout out to everyone listening. And we'll see you next time.
Drop a comment on the video. Hit up
definitely engage, man. Like,
please engage. Let us know if there's anything that you want us to talk about or want to ask us questions. Bring something up. I don't know, anything, whatever. Just let us know. Please get involved.
And one love, people. The collective podcast signing out. Peace.
We think too lowly of ourselves because of what we're shown through magazines on shelves and pictures on our phones, making girls feel like they're unwell unless we see their bones. It's like we're all under a spell trying to be clones. The media controls what is beautiful and everybody wants to sell their souls to feel suitable. If we don't look how we're told to, we're unusual, and if you dare to try and make a bold move, you're delusional. They use celebrities to show us how we must dress. They're good aesthetically, but inside they have much stress, which leads to remedies of alcohol and rough sex. To have serenity, just focus on your looks less, cause I feel like we care way too much about what others think. Always comparing stuff makes us think that we're struggling. We have to dare to trust, to try and find the good in things. Rejection's scary, but you have to learn to love within.
Feeling broken, but this world won't break me down, cause these tears are only made for mine. Pressure is rising, media all around, but you're a king, so don't forget your crown.
Be proud that you're unique, cause no one else is you. From your frown, your walk, your speech, to the way you move. You're probably insecure, that's why you're craving views. You can find value in your flaws any way you choose. Now you're in absurd debt from trying to look perfect, but what's it worth considering you're now worth less? This is for the girls thinking that they've got the worst chest, or all the lads who feel disturbed by their third leg. Some girls need makeup to give themselves a fake look. It's time we wake up, we're not living in Facebook. We should appreciate how this universe made us. Instead it seems that we use hate to replace love. I bet they call it Instagram, cause it's like picking up drugs when your picture lands. Then you get your quick fix when the likes go up. Now you're addicted to the cycle, but now you're
feeling broken, but this world won't break me down, cause these tears are only made for mine. Pressure is rising, media all around, but you're a king, so don't forget your crown.
Everyone's a slave to profit. Some even talk about what others make like it's gossip. You need to focus on your aims, not your wallet, and demonstrate that we're still the same if we ain't got it. Yeah, wrapped up in the illusion that is imagery. We all seek inclusion, so we make our lives look glittery. But the truth is, we're just disguising misery. Our time is spent online, so we rely on likes and Insta feeds.
Feeling broken, but this world won't break me down. Cause these tears are only made for mine. Pressure is rising, media all around. But you're a king, so don't forget your crown.